Well, hello everyone. Welcome to chapter 193 of The Last Thoughts of a Busy Mind, this one titled The Sting. Now, you might be wondering why there was a month-long break in the middle of the season when it has never been the case. Well, I'm sure if you've read the news, you probably already are aware of that. There was a war in Iran between Iran and Israel. And we will get to that not in this episode, as you might have guessed. The name is The Sting, which is a game. No, I'm serious. I'm not going to talk about the war because I do want to talk about the war. I wouldn't want anything more than to talk about the war. But at the same time, I don't want to because I don't think this episode is enough of a thing for it. I think I need to at least talk about it for multiple of episodes, and this season is already coming to an end, so maybe we do another themed season. Season 7 was Life, Woman, Freedom, Woman, Life, Freedom, Woman, Life, Freedom. So it sounds much better in Persian, Zan Zendegi Azadi, and maybe season 14, 7 seasons after that, can be about the Iran-Israel conflict. I don't know, maybe. But let's go to the unofficial theme of this season, which is video games. You might be wondering, why am I so animated? Well, there are a few reasons. I'm recording this at the worst time possible. It is absolute lunacy. In around an hour and 15 minutes or so, I need to be on a train going to Mashhad because I need to get out of the country for a couple of days and then return, and because of the aforementioned war, there are no flights in Tehran. None, not even domestic flights, so I have to go by train. It's a bit of a bummer, actually, to put it mildly. Anyways, as I was saying, let's talk about The Sting, but before we do that, let's talk about my drink. Oh my god, I can open the bottle. Hold for a second. I opened the bottle. I need 2 hands for it. By the way, if I sound a little bit worse with this more than usual, it's because I haven't connected the new microphone. I'm going with a shotgun on this because time. Mainly time. This is much easier to set up than the old microphone. The new microphone, I mean. My drink today is my medicine. I'm still suffering from guttural issues, and so this is my medicine. Orange flavor. Yeah, I ran out of lime, so I bought some orange. Anyways, it tastes fine, honestly. It's good for medicine, for gut medicine. Anyways. Season 13 hasn't been easy, guys. Like, generally it hasn't been easy. Before it started, I said 13 is a unlucky number. Something will happen, and it did. There was a fucking war. And before the war, I was having these problems with constant breaks in the show, which I will be talking about a lot more on chapter 195, which is the last episode of this season. And I will talk about it in length. Like, you won't believe how in length we are going to be in that, because this season hasn't been easy on me on any level, mental, physical, and emotional. It's been draining. I've tried to hit it on the theme of video games because I played a lot of video games in the past season, more than I normally would. So there's that. I actually played Age of Decadence. I could have talked about that, but that's next week. A little tease. If I don't forget, I probably will talk about the Age of Decadence. But yeah, The Sting. 5 minutes in, let's get to the subject. Now, The Sting is a name that means something to some of you and nothing to a lot more of you, probably. The thing is that Sting is a 2001 game. Yes, it is very old. It's 24 years old at this point. I was 4 years old when this game came out. And it's a game in which you play a burglar, basically a thief, and you have to plan out heists this is the thing that actually got me to go and find the game. I do have these odd recollections of this game as something that I used to play in my aunt's house with my cousin, which is younger than me. I had this memory of a guy walking in like a very cartoony city, and you had to avoid the cops and all of that, like in real life. Haha, political. But yeah, I had this memory in my head, and I searched for it. I searched for old game where you play a thief. Guess what game that brought up? You don't have to guess. It was Thief. And I played like a Cops and Robbers game. There's actually a PC game from the olden days called Cops and Robbers. It actually took me quite a lot of searching and like for specific keywords, cartoonish, robber, thief, burglar. I'm finally, I think it was like cartoony heist or video game where you walk around in the city avoiding cops, which oddly enough didn't bring up GTA. But yeah, in a Reddit post, someone had asked the same question. Does anyone remember this? Which I should have done that too when I think about it. I don't know why I do this. I have these odd recollections of games and movies, and I then just go out and search for them in the most stupid way possible, which is putting random keywords into Google. And that was even before Google was turned into an AI slop shit show. It was a stupid way of going to about it. But now that it is an AI slop shit show, it is a surprisingly stupid way of going about it. Anyways, somebody had asked that question and they said Sting. Now, I found Sting. It was very easy to find because it was abandonware, and my abandonware is a fantastic website, highly recommended. And it is on there. I downloaded it, I installed it. It runs. I do have to turn on compatibility for Windows XP. What the fuck am I talking about? Maybe I shouldn't have recorded this when I'm under such stress. The last few days haven't been easy either. Again, chapter 195. I will be going on a 20-minute rant about my mental state. But it still runs, which is incredibly rewarding, considering it is a 24-year-old game, and it doesn't really need any sort of odd emulator, any sort of like tweaks in the engines or anything. It just runs, and that's pretty good. The biggest problem I have with it, the thing that really gets me, is that it needs a CD to work. Now that's actually easy. I do have Daemon, Daemon tools, so I can just create a virtual disk and the game reads that and opens up. So it's not that big of a deal for me. But at the same time, it is very annoying that anytime I want to play the game, I have to load the virtual drive. I actually tried to find a no CD patch and I couldn't, and the game isn't that popular or that well known. As I said, some of you probably have no idea what the fuck am I talking about, and I will get to the gameplay in a little bit, but the game isn't that well known or that popular or that beloved to get the kind of community support that a lot of these older games rely on, so it just is. It is what it is. I started playing the game. I played it for a couple of hours, and then the bombs started to fucking hit. I'm not even kidding. I played the game, I went to sleep, I woke up, and I heard that Israel had attacked Iran. It's... Sorry, I'm still dealing with the PTSD of that. In a not productive way. Anyways, as I was saying, sorry, I know I'm jumping around a lot. For those of you who have no idea what the game is, some of you probably do remember the game, or what I said was enough for you to remember, but you play a character, a burglar, and you have free reign in an open world. You can go anywhere, you can hail taxis, you can talk to people it's an open world game, which is odd for a 2001 game. The world map is very small, but your goal is to go between heists that you plan in a very specific way, which I will talk about, to go out into the open world, recruit guys to help you, and check out the scenes and gather information. That's the goal. So then you will go to your desk and you will plan out your heist. How do you plan out your heist? You actually record yourself doing everything you need to do for the heist, avoiding patrols, disassembling equipment, breaking in, getting the money and all of that. And then you will see if what you did was successful. It is, in a sense, kind of like one of those old planning games. It's more of a planning sim than a burglary sim. And I actually do think it works quite well. The fact is that while you are playing as recording the heist, it says recording because it's in VHS era. Not in VHS, it's very much in the VHS aesthetic. The game world also is very odd. There are zeppelins and it looks retro-futuristic in an odd way. 2001, Jesus. I'm old that I remember this game. There are people entering society right now as semi-adults who weren't alive when Age of Mythology came out. I'm old. Jesus, I'm having an existential crisis here. Anyways, let's talk about this thing. The game is actually quite good. While you record, you won't get any alarms, anything to tell you whether or not your heist was successful or not. You just go through everything. And then when you play out the heist is when you see, oh, I did a mistake here and there. Not if the game was punishing, or I'm going to be quite honest here, if the game was old in its ways, it probably forced you to not do everything from the start. But no, you actually can edit sections of your recording. You'll be like, okay, I did good until this part, let's go from here. And you do that until you actually get to your goal, which is stealing a lot of stuff. Now, there is a story, but I don't care. I'm not going to even mention it. It's the opening cutscenes, and I usually skip it. All of the story is there. The tutorial is quite bad. Like the first time I played the game, I couldn't even find the tutorial, but I do remember this is probably from the time where, game discs had manuals. Now, this is a funny thing. Okay. I don't know how. Again, I'm going to age myself quite here. When you used to install games, it wasn't like a window, a small window on your desktop that you click install and it just installed. It used to take up whole of your desktop and show you screenshots of the game or advertising material for the game. The movies did that, the movies, which is the one I remember. Age of Mythology, the original disc of it, did that. A lot of games used to do that, and it was quite good. I actually liked that a lot. But the problem was that if if this install took a lot of time, your PC was practically useless because you couldn't click out of that. The small install window was part of this whole other bigger window. And this game also has that, but they've used it in a very clever way. They actually put a mini tutorial of how to walk and how to click on stuff in those screenshots. Like when the game's installing, you see these pictures of where to go and what to do. The problem is, this game was made in 2001, and it was probably very cutting edge for its time, so it took a lot of time to install, probably like, I don't know, 10 minutes or 20 minutes to install. I'm not that much, but even 5 minutes to install. So each picture gave you at least a minute or a few more than 30 seconds to look at it and get the information. When I'm installing this game on my modern day hardware, it installs in like 15 seconds. So I see just flashes of these pictures come and go. So I couldn't use them. They're probably somewhere in the disk file, but I'm not inquisitive enough to go and search for them. I probably should. Or I should have looked online. I didn't, but just funny to me that this very innovative thing that they use this system, which other games use to show you screenshots and advertising material, sort of hyping you up for the game. They use it to give you vital information about how to play the game. But when I went to the tutorial and I actually read the tutorial, which is like those Windows help things, I don't know if you remember those. They were these. Windows help was this thing. It's still there, but it's not as charming. It was a bunch of hyperlinks. You clicked on them. It had screenshots. It was very cute. It had those rounded things, like old Windows Media Player players. It quite nostalgic for that. But here's the thing. Why am I playing a 24-year-old game? I think I talked about it when I was discussing Prey a few episodes ago. I was going to say a few weeks ago, but God, it's been more than a month ago. That these older games tend to do something that a lot of newer games don't, which is they take a premise, a concept, and an idea, and they decide to build it well around that. When I'm playing this thing, I know that I'm going to be wasting an afternoon or two, playing in an afternoon or two and get the gist of it, which makes me excited. I want to see how these games, I have a nostalgia for those old graphics as well, so graphic prowess never really interested me, to be honest. So I know that when I'm playing that game, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna waste an afternoon playing this game. But when I want to play, for example, let me tell you from the actual games I have on my desktop. Why do I have so many windows open? Okay. This War of Mine, a game I've had on my desktop for, I think, 8 or 9 months at this point, but I never muster up the courage to play it. It's not even that new. This War of Mine is quite old at this point. I don't have any new examples. I don't play a lot of new games. The newest game I played, I think, was Age of Mythology Retold, which, I mean, you know, it's Age of Mythology. But the problem is, when I want to enter this world, I know I'm going to be dealing with a lot of systems, and these systems are going to envelop my life for a while, for at least a week or two, and I feel like I don't have the mental capacity for it. So my mind kind of races back to these older games which have very simplistic systems. You just need to learn one or two things. Mostly if you learn the control scheme, you can do it. Honestly, when I was planning to do this episode, this point was very prominent in my life. Now, after the war, the PTSD of the war hitting in and playing the Age of Decadence, I'm actually not as comfortable talking about it because it's not true anymore. I do believe it's a nihilistic view, but it's something that the war actually brought out in me, that things are becoming more and more uncertain. So I don't have as much time as I thought I did. So probably I should play this War of Mine. I probably will. I played Age of Decadence, one playthrough, by the way. I probably will need to do 2 more playthroughs at least. I have ideas on what to do. But yeah, it's a good game, this thing. But the idea of why I went to it is I just wanted that simplicity, And this game does it well. It does one idea very well. You actually manage to plan a heist and recruit for it and feel like you're doing a heist. And I just want it to be, there will be a no CD patch. If this episode by any chance is listened by anyone who knows how to do that, please make this game a no CD patch. Email me at contact8hamsa88@gmail.com. It is in the description too, and tell me that you can help me. Please, I need it. I will be grateful for it. You have no idea how much it would help me. But yeah, see you all next week. Unless there is another fucking war. God.